$17,000 repair. The dealership must bump their head. That's right, $17,000. Wow. The dealership, I think they're trying to charge this man for an engine. I don't know why, but I'm gonna remove this cover and crank it up. That way we can just hear everything, because sometimes this engine cover will muffle out sound. So let's take a listen. Wow. No Pentastar tick. Check that out. And this thing got 190,000 miles on it. Let's take a look at the mileage. Turn this down. Turn the AC off. Wow, 194.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna ask? 194, no Pentastar tick. Could the tick have been here and went away?
Right, too smooth. Let's look, because let me roll this. Well, I'll just leave it like that.
You know, some people gonna say it's too good to be true.
Running too good. No stumbling. It's running like a Pentastar should. Yep. Well, let's just start looking around, see what we can find, because I think the dealership sounding a little bit Scooby-Doo, what they're telling this guy. Now, guys, you know what I like to do? I like to look at the oil cooler. That's the first thing I like to look at. And this oil cooler looks like it's on its last leg. It's just so grimy down there. You know what? I'm gonna let y'all get a better look. Y'all never can get a really good look at the oil cooler. Let me break out my borescope camera. That way you can really see what I'm seeing. All right, good people, this is the only way I'm gonna show you a good view of what I see in person. Puddle of oil surrounding the area. If I stick it behind up top, let's see, you can see where oil is starting to leak from the actual metal coolant part. So very bad. I'm glad I was able to show you this, because this is what I see when I see potentially bad oil coolers, or oil coolers that's going bad. Not potentially, this oil cooler is bad, I guarantee.
And we are gonna go back with the all aluminum.
Yes, oh, most definitely. I don't do it any other way. I'm gonna go put this up because I don't want to lose this thing. I love this tool, guys. Was a lot of money. I was skeptical about buying it. I wonder if it's gonna hold up to my abuse, and it holds up to shop abuse. So it'll hold up to your abuse at home. Go check out my Amazon store. You'll find all the good stuff that I recommend for you guys. Let's finish checking this thing over. Looks like we got some leaking, maybe oil cooler lines, or those transmission lines. I can't tell, but definitely got some seepage going on. Oh, let's check the radiator cap. Good. It look like the dang gone overflow is got oil mixed into it. Doesn't look right. Let's check the radiator.
Oh,
yeah, that is contaminated coolant. Got oil mixed into it. Well,
do you have any overheating issues?
I don't think he said anything. It doesn't look that bad. I have an assumption, but you know, here at Alex the Car Doctor, we don't assume. We run the test. Leave the assuming up to the dealership. Now, the oil looks great. Looks like regular oil. Yeah, looks like regular oil. I don't see nothing odd there. All right, guys. I'm gonna run a block test on this. Look at that. I already had it on my desk. Wasn't done on purpose.
Hold on. Let me just say how proud I am. If you guys follow Alex, you know he cleaned this table a few weeks ago, and it's still clean. Good job, babe.
Of course. Let's get this yah-yah out the way. Now, I do know the temperature sensor is unplugged. It will run just fine because I am going to crank it up. I just moved this out the way for so I can get to the hose because I am going to have to drain it. Let me go grab a drain bucket and shove under there, and I'll be right back. All right. Ooh. That's under there. Look like it'll catch some coolant. I have to drain some out the system because it is at the very top, and that'll give me a better look too at the coolant. Now, I'm not gonna tell you my assumption yet. We're gonna run the test. I
can guess.
No, don't guess. You gotta guess it right. Yeah, I don't know.
You can't tell me if I'm right or wrong.
We're gonna run the test. Coolant don't look that bad. It just looked like it had a little bit of oil contaminant. All right. Now that the level is dropped down a lot, I can then set up my block tester. Boom. And a little bit left, so hopefully.
Oh, I gotta grab some more for you tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully I do this right the first time. No, I got another one for another test if it comes down to it. All right, let's fire in the hole, see what happens. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, I'm assuming the dealership saw this and said, oh, blown head gasket. Coolant in the oil mixing.
Well, that's what I said.
Guaranteed fail, I guess, by them just looking at it. Now, there's other ways coolant can oil can contaminate the coolant. I had to swap that around. Is the oil cooler. I'm gonna explain more in a little bit. Let's finish this test first. If you know, drop down in the comments. No cheating, don't skip ahead, because I am going to explain it. How the oil cooler can contaminate the coolant. I think I said that right. Drop down in the comments. So this test is going to take about 10 minutes. So if anything changes, I'll make sure you see it. While that's going, I almost forgot another step that I normally do. I normally scan everything. I don't remember a check engine light, but if it was one on, I would just know everything. I know I caused a code from unplugging the thing and letting it run, but I just want to look at everything. New scanner, by the way, guys. I've been using it around the shop, and it's pretty good. I will give it my stamp of approval. Pretty neat. I will put a link in the description if you want to check it out. Yep, intake air, lost communication with telematics. So it tells you a lot of stuff. I was only interested in the PCM, powertrain control module, nothing else. But as you see, it does read every system. Also does the parking brake thing, put it in service mode. It's pretty neat. All right, that's all I wanted to see. Make sure there was no other codes, because I wasn't paying attention when I crank it up. Sometimes I will do that.
These videos aren't scripted.
Nope.
I'm just literally following you around with the camera.
All right.
We might cut when he fumbling his words.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, what is
But check this out. Still bright blue. Blue is day. Oh, wow. I think the dealership tried to scam this man.
So did they test it?
I don't think so. Because it's nice and hot. It's been what? Almost going on about 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
I've just been sitting here. Guys, you've seen blown air gaskets. For the ones that follow my channel, sometimes it just like that. It doesn't take much time at all.
For the newcomers, what color are we looking for?
If your pee is yellow, your hair gasket is blown fellow. If the fluid is yellow,
What?
this-
Yeah, that's what I was like, what?
So this fluid turns yellow, the head gasket is blown. This block test fluid detects combustion gas inside the cooling system. Guys, combustion gas is not supposed to be in the cooling system. Combustion gas is supposed to be exiting the tailpipe. But when the head gasket blows, the head gasket is supposed to keep combustion gas from going into the cooling system, and certain times, certain ways it blows, you will get coolant in the oil, and it'll just be all messy. You'll get white smoke coming out the tailpipes on certain occasions. So it's all types of blown head gasket symptoms out there. You can have a blown head gasket and it'll run just like this. No milky oil, no milky nothing. You won't even know unless you do a test like this. So you can't assume on this stuff, and this seems like that's what the dealership did. They took one good look at this car and assumed. I actually heard a guy say that. He's like, oh, we took what the customer said and we only get an hour diet.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that clip in the video.
Yeah, put that clip in it. It's hilarious.
The problem with the tech is he wrote to her, timing chain installed incorrectly, tensioners failed.
It wouldn't even run like this
So-
if it was
That's
installed.
just based on what she told us.
So that's not based on any kind of technical thing. Nobody saw.
We pulled the fluid, metal in it, that's it. And
Gotcha.
Right.
That's
That-
all I
That's all I
wanted.
wanna know.
That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom
That's
of.
all. That's all.
Because
But if she says, like the story went, it didn't do this until we did time change. I know that's not the case.
Right.
But I'm just telling you that's not the case.
Right.
We know that's not the case.
Yeah.
But we're just going based off of what she said. We only get an hour diet.
when I heard it, I was like, mind blown. Like, really, they out here doing people like this? And people complain about my prices and procedure? Take it to the dealership. Watch how they treat you. Guys, I'm gonna call it. This car does not have a blown head gasket. One quick note. When I first pulled this coolant upper radiator hose off, I noticed blotches of oil. That gives me the notion that the radiator is probably stopped up as well. I'm gonna recommend a radiator also. The reason being because you have these tiny coolant passageways, these coolant tubes, and they're very thin. And if oil or any type of foreign debris gets caught up in there, it will decrease the cooling system, or just straight up overheat and doing funny stuff. So I'm gonna recommend everything, every coolant piece on this thing, except the water pump. The water pump looked like it just been recently replaced, and I don't think it received a lot of damage. It can be pretty stout from contaminated cooling systems. Just wanted to add that. Everything approved. Now I can say this about my Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler customers. They really love their cars. They take care of it for the most part. And what I recommend, they listen to me, which good on y'all part. So here's the parts. Got the Dorman aluminum oil cooler, radiator underneath that. Got some hoses and some more hoses, heater hoses pretty much.
I want to add most of the Dodge customers. Most of them. Not all of them, but most of them.
Before I get to the receipt, this is what we're about to do. We're about to pull the car outside and flush the system. As you can see, it's still a lot of oil residue. We want to flush the block out really well. Make sure there's no residue up in there. I had the customer email me pictures of the receipts so I can show you guys. Check out this number, $69.80. That's 17 grand, good people. Let's focus our attention right here. Let's see, failed engine block test. Recommend replacing long block and cooling system. OMG, I do not agree with none of this. I did retest the system again just to be sure, performed another block test, and it continued to pass. Now, I don't know what's going on at the dealership, but y'all need to get it together, good people. That oil really did a number on the cooling system. I did just double check, triple check myself, and did a flow test on the radiator, and it failed. That sludgy oil mixed in with the water, just not gonna pass through those small passageways in that cooling system. My Guy is actually gonna be working on this one, so I'm gonna get out of his way. He's getting ready to pull it outside and flush the engine block and make sure none of that nasty, grimy oil stuff is in there anymore, so he can have a properly performing cooling system. The Dodge Durango all finished up. I let it sit here and run for at least an hour or two, simulating harsh traffic conditions. Car's ever gonna run hot? It's gonna run hot just sitting still where there's no airflow through the radiator. I also took it on a test drive. The temperature hand stayed exactly where it needed to be. I also checked for pending codes because anytime after a major repair like this one endured, major surgery, you want to do a post scan on it. It's called a post scan, right, sweetie?
Yes.
You got your pre-scan, which tests for already conditions. Then you got your post scan, which kind of tests to make sure everything went well after you touched it. This is what we replaced, of course. We went with the aluminum oil cooler because that was the culprit behind all this mess and the oil in the cooling system. Went ahead and changed all the hoses, all the rubber hoses, because the last thing you want is leave any rubber hose behind and that oil soaks into it and soften up the hoses, cause them to swell up and get soft and burst. I went ahead and took care of that. I am very happy with this outcome. What you think, sweetie?
I like it. I mean, I'm happy for the customer.
All right, so the last thing I really have to do is wash her up and ship it. I think this is a job well done. Very happy for the customer. 17 grand. Wow, that's all I gotta say is just wow. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this diagnostic. I know I didn't really throw no clips. I was busy. I'm sorry. I meant to film a little bit, but I didn't get a chance. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you did. Alex Car Doctor out. See you on the next one.